this week's principals report to the public, to our community. Next week is Reconciliation Week, and I'd love to have a bit of a chat to you about your thoughts on Reconciliation Week. But before we move into that, can we start with a welcome to country?
Yeah, well, I'd like to welcome you to my country in my language. What we've just started is Wujulali, Naigan, Nindigan, Gaion, which means friends, I welcome you to my land, and it's a safe welcome. Makes you feel safe when you're in my land. Nothing can go wrong.
That's beautiful, and thanks for welcoming us. Now, Quentin, there's a difference between welcome to country and an acknowledgement of country, isn't there? Can you explain that to us a little bit?
Yeah, well, the difference is that the welcome is done from people from the country. Indigenous people, non-Indigenous people can't do the welcome, only do the acknowledgement, and people from out of country do the acknowledgement too, just for respect of us, the owners of the land.
And the land means a lot to your culture, to your people, doesn't it?
Yes, it's our mother. Some of us think of it as our mother. We came from the land and we get buried back into the land.
Yeah. And I guess that leads to an enormous respect for the land and for the land on which we live, but also the environment too.
Yes, yeah, that's why we love the land, connect to it.
Yeah, we all should be a bit more connected to it, shouldn't we?
That's right, yeah.
Especially in this beautiful environment in which we live here,
Yeah.
On the coast, and yeah, it's a great spot. So for Reconciliation Week next week, the theme is our history, our story, our future. And those three elements fit together really nicely. And I think to begin with, we'll talk a bit about the history part, and that the reconciliation journey has to begin with an acknowledgement of the past.
Yeah.
And an understanding of the history. So history is important. If we know where we're going next, we need to understand where we've come from. So can you talk a little bit about that aspect of the theme for this year, the history aspect?
The historical accepted is the only way for reconciliation to work. Until there is real understanding of our true history, we won't move forward. That's what I think.
Yeah. So sometimes that means an acknowledgement of a history which is not very pleasant in lots of ways.
Well, I always hear people saying that it's not non-Indigenous people saying it's not their fault because they weren't here in that time.
Yeah.
Like that, you know.
So you're saying that we, even though we weren't there at the time,
you get people
we still need to acknowledge that.
Need to understand what we went through and everything, because to me it's just like Anzac Day. We mourn Anzac Day for people that saved our country, don't we?
That's right. We weren't there, which doesn't mean we don't celebrate it.
That's right, and that's what I mean. My people got massive slaughters, you know, killings.
Do you think people really understand the whole history and the atrocities that occurred?
Oh, some people would, and some people don't. You know, the majority don't, because that's why we're still like we are today.
Yeah.
You know, the gap ain't closing.
So the next part of that theme for next week is our story, and I suppose your story that you want to tell us today is a little bit about the history as well, isn't it?
Yes.
So can you tell us your story of your family and your people?
Well, my dad's from inland Moree. My mother's from Radri in Yass, which is dad's tribe's Kamilaroi, and mum's is Radri, which is two biggest tribes in New South Wales. Yeah, well, we moved from like inland Moree down to here. Dad loved it that much. We all, like Dad coached Eden Tigers Rugby League minor league for years. We played football full on, like most of my people just love our sports, dedicated to our sports. It's just a thing that we connect with. sports.
And they're very good at
They're
it.
good at it. Well, look at all the codes today. Are mostly Indigenous players are the top players.
Absolutely.
In all codes nearly. And then that's when tragedy, stolen generation. My uncle was taken away for years, and my mother's still not over that. She missed birthdays, spending time with him, and seeing her through today, even when we tell stories, you know, and he's not there, not in the stories, you can still see she's hurt, you know, it affects everyone, which affects me, you know, because I see my mother hurt, crying, upset, and that's how, you know, it just goes along the lines, flows.
So the pain is still very real, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I don't think we can begin to imagine how tough that would have been for your family at that time.
And that's what non-Indigenous people have got to understand, understand what we've been through, to connect with us, you know, to get along with us.
And before we move ahead together, we have to understand that history and that story, and then be on the same page, and then move forward together, which is the third part of that theme for Reconciliation Week is our future. If you jump on the website, it talks a lot about the diversity of our country. Now, we're made up of a lot of different cultures, but particularly, you know, the First People, the Indigenous people, there's great diversity there, and as a country now, we need to work together to move forward as one country, and that theme comes through strongly on the website. So, how do you think we can do that better?
Well, I've worked in the school at Lumen Christi for 6 years now, and I really enjoy my job. But what we all do in the schools is what we need to do in society, because that's a way of moving forward. And different generations coming through the schools get to see people like me working in a school, and then that's how we connect.
Yeah. You're the role model for those other generations coming up, aren't you?
That's right. And even for the non-Indigenous, just to connect with them in a school is great. I feel happy when that happens.
Yeah, and you know, it's great having you around here so that you can share these stories and help us understand where you've come from. There's a couple of things we're working on at the school, and other schools are doing as well, that will help us move forward, and I think the language program is one of the big things. Do you want to talk a little bit about the work you've been doing there in trying to get the language into primary school to begin with?
Yeah, well, I'll just start with we lost our language with the settlement, European settlement, and everything was white, all my culture on the eastern coast. I just want to bring it back to the school so we can teach all kids our language.
And hopefully we can not only teach it in classes, but we can get it on signs and all sorts of things.
So it's everywhere.
It's back to life.
That's right.
Yeah. And I think John Liston, a former teacher here, put a lot of work into gathering together some of the language in a textbook.
Yes, well, he's done a book with St. Joseph's. St. Joseph's about 20 years ago, which is good because Tathra just got a book, done a book, and the words all match up, you know, it's a lot similar in that for this language down this way, so it'll be a good thing. Yeah.
And I suppose there's a couple of other things happening at the moment too, like today, for instance, we've got the group of students who are down at the Bundian Way, working on the Bundian Way that goes from the coast right to the mountains. So that's a good move towards reconciliation.
Yes, yes, very happy that I get feedback from the people in the community and the elders about the students helping in the track, and they're very happy.
Yeah. I think our students are pretty happy being down there too.
Yeah. Well, I've spoke to a couple of them and they like doing it.
Yeah.
It's a great thing.
What else can we do you think, to try and move forward together? What are some of the really important things we should be doing to work together towards reconciliation?
It's just doing what we do at the schools and try and get that in society. You know, because we all do play sports together, we all do everything together, mainly.
Yeah.
You know, and that's all I want to see, everyone just get together and work all together.
I think empathy is an important part too, understanding each other's stories.
Stories, yeah.
And you know, not being separate but working together towards that unity.
That's right. Yeah.
Sorry Days on Thursday, I think.
Yep.
And then Reconciliation Week starts on the Friday and goes into the next week. So as a country, I suppose we're getting better at acknowledging those moments in our calendar. But it's about being real, isn't it? It's not just about let's mark it on the calendar, let's call it Sorry Day or Reconciliation Week. We have to be fair income about how we approach this.
Doing actions.
That's right, and the actions speak a lot louder than the words.
That's right.
Yeah. So thanks for your time, and you do a great job. So keep it up, and appreciate you.
No worries. Thank you.
Your time. Thanks. Yeah. I just thought today we'd talk a little bit about the diocesan cross country event from last week. So you all competed in Canberra last week, correct? Yeah. And we'll start with you, Isabel. You were in the under 12 race, and how did you go?
Oh, I came fourth. Yeah.
That's pretty awesome, isn't it? Was it a tough track?
Oh, not too hard.
Not too many hills?
Not too many.
Yeah, good. And Chloe, how did you go?
Good.
Good.
I came fifth.
Fifth? That's
Yeah.
pretty good. And Jasmine?
Came fourth.
Came fourth.
Yeah.
What age group were you?
16.
16th. And you young fellas at the back there, what age group were you in?
Under 10s.
Under 10s. And what places did you get?
I got second, fifth, and fourth.
Well done. And you were saying before that it was an improvement from last year. You improved a few places.
Yeah, one place from last year, and he got 5. I got 5.
Well
I
done.
got none.
5 places, that's pretty good. And Oliver, you were the under 17 champion.
Yeah.
Yep. So was your race longer than theirs?
Yeah, it was 6 kilometres.
6 kilometres. Okay. So where do you train, Oliver? Do you?
I don't really.
You don't? You're just a very natural runner, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about the rest of you? Do you train around here? I've seen you
Yeah.
run a bit in the morning, Chloe.
I
Yeah.
do.
Yeah. Where do you train?
Or just down the hill and sometimes ride our bikes.
Yeah.
I train on the road. We
Okay.
did golf courses because that's pretty much all Canberra was.
Yeah. So the golf course between Hamlin and Marimula, that's it?
Yeah.
So was it cold in Canberra?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
When you're gonna stitch, you're like frozen.
So it was early in the morning, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So
I
some
was
of your
the last
races
race.
earlier than others? Was yours the last one?
That was the last one, yeah.
What time was that?
I think it was 12:55.
Yeah. And so you guys, did you race earlier?
Yeah, we did.
We were
12.
the last primary to race.
Yeah.
12.
Okay. And you were competing against a lot of other schools?
Yeah.
Catholic schools?
Yes.
Yeah. So what other schools were there, do you remember?
Maria. Patrick's.
St Patrick's from Beacon? Yeah.
St. Charles.
No, Holland, wasn't it?
So just schools from Browley, yeah, schools from all over the diocese.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Much.
So is it good fun?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably good to get together with kids from other schools, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you been in lots of cross-country events? Oliver, you would have raced in quite a few over your time at Lumen.
Yeah, about 6 or 7 years.
Yeah. So do you compete outside of school in cross-country or just when you're at school?
Just a school thing.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay. And others, do you compete outside of school or
No.
just for the school?
Just for
I did have Nagle as well.
Oh, you did Nagle, yeah. Then in Victoria.
Yeah.
Yeah, excellent. Well done to you all. That's a fantastic effort. And from what I heard from the PE teachers and the teachers that took you, you represented the school beautifully. So well done to you all. And thank you for your time today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And just to wrap up today's principal's messages, just have a few reminders for parents and families out there. In relation to the central portal for parents and students, parents are reminded that they can acquit absences. So if your son or daughter is absent from school, jump onto the central parent portal and you can acquit those absences there. There's also up on the portal now a list of awards that students will be getting, and also the recently published College Handbook. The College Handbook contains all information that parents and students will need, ranging from an explanation of the houses through to which teacher teaches which subject, and so forth. So the College Handbook will be up on Central as well, and that'll be a really good resource for families to have a look at. And just finally, we had open day last week, and we had lots of people through the door, lots of people signing up for interviews for 2017. So if you do have any enrolment inquiries, or you would like to arrange an enrolment interview, please contact the college and ask for Barb Goff, our enrolment officer, and she'll sort out interviews or provide you with information that you need. So thank you very much, and have a good week.